Editing videos is probably one of the most time-consuming things when it comes to being a creator, but I actually learned that it doesn't have to be that hard. In this video, I'm going to show my step-by-step process on how I've been editing my videos in a really simple and straightforward way. Now, this is part 4 of my 6-part YouTube series where I show the entire behind the scenes of how I bring my videos to life. So if you haven't caught up yet, make sure you watch this playlist afterwards. Now, without further ado, let's go to my desk and edit some videos together. Now, the video editing tool that I use is called Descript, and Descript is by far my favorite tool that I've ever discovered because it's actually empowered me to want to edit my own videos because of how easy and simple they make video editing to be. Now, the first step is after you've uploaded your clips onto your computer via your SD card, you're gonna wanna go to Descript Web or use their desktop app and create a new project. After you've named your project, for me, I typically name it the title of my YouTube video, you can then drop all of the clips that you wanna edit into Descript. Now, you're gonna wanna wait a few minutes because what Descript will do is actually transcribe all of the clips that you've imported. Now, just to give you an idea as to why having the transcription is so amazing for video editing is because you can easily delete sections just by highlighting the words and then hitting the backspace on your keyboard. So just one click, delete. Now, if you're unsure if you want to remove something from your video and you still want to keep the transcript, then what you can do too is you could highlight it and then click this strike through button right here, and it's going to remove it from the video. So let's play so you can see what that would look like. My series on, so after this video. So as you can see, it just kind of skipped through that part that I strike through. You can also easily remove filler words such as ums and ahs, and especially if you stammer and maybe you repeated a word a couple times, you're gonna wanna highlight the entire script and then click these 3 buttons and then click on remove filler words. What Descript will do is identify and highlight all of the filler words that you had. So for example, here it's highlight a lot of the ums and ahs that I've done, and also words like kind of, which I say a lot. Or even here, you can see that I said and this twice because I was stuttering. And so it'll easily remove that if you want to by clicking remove all, or you can kind of filter it one by one, or even just having Descript highlighted for you to see is really helpful as well if you want to manually delete the filler words yourself. Another thing that I also really like about Descript is you can see the really long pauses that are in your video, so you can easily highlight them and then click delete. And you can see there were 3 long pauses right here, especially this guy over there. Now, beyond that, sometimes I like to cut out pauses in general, even if they're super short, so that my video can come across more concise and faster paced because I talk kind of slow. And so down here in the timeline section, you can also easily see the tiny pauses by looking at the audio track and seeing where it flatlines. So what you would do is you would click this blade button right here and then click on the parts that you want to split. So I'm going to remove this short pause, click on this button, and then hit delete on my keyboard. Now, if you're someone that doesn't want to click this button every single time, there are shortcuts. So as you can see, the shortcut for blade is B on your keyboard. So let's try it together. If I hit B on my keyboard, the blade automatically comes up, and then I'm able to click on where I want to cut. And then the shortcut for select is A on my keyboard. So if I click A on my keyboard, I'm now able to click on this clip and then delete it. So a lot of the editing is really just on your keyboard, splicing and dicing your script, and then being able to turn your video into the most concise and engaging version as possible. Now, of course, that's just an overview as to why I love Descript so much, but there is so much more that I do. And so the first step before I start slicing and dicing my video, I actually make color adjustments first. So to do that, I'm going to highlight the entire script. So basically that means selecting all the clips that I have. And then I'm going to click on layer. And then in layer, I'm going to hit the plus sign over on effects, and then I'm gonna click on color adjustments. Then I'm gonna click on effect settings, and now I'm able to play with the colors a little bit more. Now, for me, I like doing this as the first step before I edit any video because I want to color grade all of my clips so I don't have to do it again. Now, typically what I do is I like to increase the saturation by 15%. You can already see the color come back to my lips. And then sometimes I'll play with the exposure. Now, it really depends on my clip and the day that I filmed. And so I never really follow settings for color adjustments. I just kind of play it by ear. And then I'm going to increase the contrast by 5%. Now, just so you guys can see the difference, this is with the color adjustments. Now, if I turn it off, this is what it looks like without. So without the color adjustment, when I use my regular footage, it's a little bit more dulled down, but through Descript and adjusting the colors, I'm able to kind of liven it up a little bit. Now, once I've done the color adjustments, the next step is to actually edit the video. Now, this is what I like to call a rough cut. What a rough cut means is basically a lot of the things that I showed you. It's me going through this entire video, cutting out all of my mistakes, all of the filler words, and all of the pauses. Now, a little hack that I like doing is by clicking this button right here, I'm able to play the video in 2x or 3x speed. This is how I'm able to edit really fast. I do not watch my videos in normal speed unless I'm reviewing the final version of it. So I'm gonna show you an example of how I take out the long pauses. I do find that if you are editing in 2x or 3x speed, it's kind of hard to catch the pauses. And so it's good to keep an eye on the timeline. And by the way, this is just personal preference. You don't always have to do this. But what I noticed is right here, I'm going to play so you can hear it. I noticed that I kind of like breathe in. Breathe in between words, and it actually makes the video feel a lot more slow paced than I would like. And so I'm going to delete those pauses, but just so that you guys can see what it looks like, I'm going to show you right now. It was for the sake of getting views, but it wasn't necessarily genuine. And so it's very subtle, but it's something that I actually spend a lot of time cutting out so that my videos can feel a little bit more fast paced, despite me already talking a little bit more naturally and slow. And so what I will do is I will just remove that little pause here. And again, Descript makes it so easy to look for them because you can see where it flatlines in the audio. For the sake of getting views, but it was, I'm going to go here and delete that as well. And I typically do that throughout the video. And it's something that I brought up in this video right here where I was talking about my filming process. And that is just knowing that the final video that you guys typically see on YouTube is different than how it's actually being filmed. Most times the videos that you see on YouTube are a lot more engaging, a lot more faster paced, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's a representation of how that person talks in real life. And thanks to Descript for making things so easy to edit out, it's actually allowed me to feel a lot more chill when filming because I know that I can edit out the mistakes. Let me show you some raw footage so you can see the difference. So there's no prompt, there's really nothing that, so there's no prompt, there's no specific topics. So as you can see, I've had to repeat myself many times, but back then I would have just panicked, deleted the clip, and then I would have started over. But because of Descript and ever since editing my own videos, I have so much more trust in the process. And all I have to do, again, is just read the transcript and delete what isn't necessary anymore. Now let's continue to edit this video and let me show you some other features that I use. Now over here on this section, I'm talking about my 6-part YouTube series, and what I've been doing is showing people a preview of my YouTube series. So let me show you how I would edit this. So right now in this video, I'm saying, now as a reminder, this is part 2 of my 6-part YouTube series where I show the behind the scenes of how I bring my YouTube videos to life. And so what I want to do is I want to show a list of all the videos that are upcoming in the series. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the slash button so that I can isolate this clip. And as you can see right here, it then creates its own section. That means that whatever I edit on that clip, it stays applied to that clip. And then where I want it to end is right here. So let me just do another backslash. Now this is the section that I really want to edit. And so what I'm going to personally do is I'm actually going to take this clip and then drag it so that it's more of a split screen. And then I can adjust my body so it's more centered. And so because I did those backslashes, it's not going to affect the other clips. It's only going to do it for that one specific section that I picked. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on layer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on scene, and then I'm going to add a background color for that. So I'm going to choose white, but you can also change the color here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Underlord and type in text because I want to add some text. I'm going to make this text black, put it up here. And then you can also pick the fonts. Let's say I wanted to do, I don't know, like this font right here. And I also want it to be light. That's also something you can do. And you can also add a background. So over here, I'm going to click on background. And then right here, I'm going to change the text to white so that the header stands out. And then I'm going to write 6-part YouTube series or something like that. Now, for the sake of just showing you, I'm not going to make this perfect. This exact video is already uploaded on my channel, by the way, so you can check out the final result. And then it's gonna look something like this. Now, obviously the final result ended up looking a lot nicer, but for the sake of just demonstrating what I do, this is kind of the idea of it. And so let me play and show you what that looks like. Newly updated Notion system. Now, as a reminder, this is part 2 of my 6-part series where I show the entire behind the scenes of how I bring my YouTube videos to life. So after this video, so as you can see, it was only for that section where my body went to the side and I added some text. So that is also one thing that I like doing for my YouTube videos. Let's put the video back on 2x speed so I can get through this and show you some more tricks. So let me show you a section of the video where I list down the 5 different ways that I get content ideas. I source my ideas from 5 places. The first one is my own experiences. And I know that now when I say my own experiences, I want the word experiences to pop up in that moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to highlight the area where I want the text to show up. So like I said, I want the text to show up when I say my own experiences. So I highlight that. Then I'm going to click Underlord and then select text. Now the text is only going to show up when I say my own experiences. From here, I'm going to type experiences, and then I'm going to change the font to maybe like bold. I'm going to make it much bigger. I'm going to center it, and then that would be the text that shows up. Now, if I wanted to, I can also add background to it so that it pops out even more. But for me, as a personal preference, I don't want to do that. So let me just remove it. You could also click on effects and add a shadow effect so that the text stands out even more if you'd like. But let me show you what that looks like now. I source my ideas from 5 places. The first one is my own experiences. And I know that as you can see, it was super easy to do this. And most of the time when I'm editing, I'm mainly reading. And so that's why I love Descript. But again, let's continue editing this video together. Okay, so a lot of times when I'm filming videos, I might just have some things that I say that I don't feel like really adds to the video. Maybe it doesn't make the video concise. And so I will actually delete that. So let me give you an example of what that might look like. And ever since this one shift of just changing the header, it's allowed me to think outside of the box. Not necessarily outside of the box, but like it's allowed me to look inwards for content. And it's allowed me to be more in a reflective mode, thinking about. So because I think that's a little bit redundant, I'm going to cut out certain parts of what I said. And so I'm going to delete this, and then let's see what that looks like. It's allowed me to think outside of the box, and it's allowed me to be more in a reflective mode. So not bad. I did feel like the cut was a little bit too obvious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the timeline, and as you can see, there's a little pause here. And so all I have to do is just trim it in so that the cut is less obvious. And then let's see what that looks like now. Ever since this one shift of just changing the header, it's allowed me to think outside of the box, and it's allowed me to be more in a reflective mode. So as you can see, just by really going into the details and trimming out the pauses, it's made that a way more seamless and the cut look less obvious. Now let's keep going because there's definitely more things that I want to show you. All right, so in this video, as I'm listing out the 5 different content ideas, I personally found that my last tip was actually one of the more stronger ones. It's basically where I talked about how I find content ideas using the YouTube inspiration tab. And I know from looking at my data, not a lot of people get to the 10-minute mark of my videos. People have a really short attention span. And so I kind of feel like it doesn't do the video justice if I leave one of the better tips at the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this tip and move it up so that people see it earlier in the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the entire tip that I want to move. And then over on my keyboard, I'm gonna hit Control X, which is basically cutting it. Then I'm going to find the area of the script where I want to put that tip in. So for me, I'm going to put my 5th tip as my 2nd tip. And so what I've done is I found that section of my script. I'm going to make some space, and then I'm going to click and hit paste. Now it's pasted that section into that area. Now, of course, when I was filming the video, I was using words like, finally, my last tip is going into the YouTube inspiration section for some content ideas. So I'm gonna obviously have to delete those words. And so in this case, I'm going to remove the word finally so that it's a lot more seamless.
Stimulate some authentic ideas for your YouTube channel. Another area that I pull from is the inspiration tab within my YouTube analytics. This has been a very helpful tool because
so now it doesn't even look like it was the last tip. And that's some advice that I have when you're filming videos. And let's say you're doing more tip-based stuff. Try to not say my 1st tip, my 2nd tip, my 3rd tip, because it makes it a little bit more challenging to move things around, but it is doable. Now, just to give you an idea of what the video is looking like now is you can see that I've done some major edits. I've deleted a lot of like redundant things that I've said, maybe some long pauses and all those things. I've also added some pictures. I also added some screenshots of previous videos I've done. And then when I am going to be uploading the YouTube video, I will add an end screen here so people can click if they want to watch this video. And as you can see, I've also added those titles as well. Now, the next thing that I want to show you how to do is adding your own B-roll. And so there is one part in this video where I talked about journaling, and I want to add, just a clip of me journaling to make the video more visually interesting. So this is what I say in the video.
Every morning, you want to fill up 3 full pages in your journal of just conscious stream of writing.
So when I say every morning you want to fill up 3 full pages of your journal of stream of consciousness writing, I'm going to highlight that, and then I'm going to click on Add Layer, hit Files, and then Add Files. This is going to allow me to add my B-roll, but an easier way to do this actually is if you already have the file in mind, you can just take it and then drag it into the timeline. And now that video is right here. So let's hit play.
Every morning, you want to fill up 3 full pages in your journal of just conscious stream of writing. So there's
now I want it to end at conscious stream of writing. So I'm just going to, take the blade, cut that, and then just delete the rest of the clip. So now this video of me journaling is on the side. And if I wanted to make color adjustments to this, I would just click on my image and then click on Effects, Color Adjustments, and then just increase the exposure because I do find that it's a little bit too dark. And then what I can also do is I can also, stretch this out further if I would like as well. This was an Instagram story, so it's in portrait mode, but ideally it would have been in horizontal mode and take up the whole screen. But what you can do is, let's say I resize this, I play with the adjustments, and then that's where I want the B-roll to show up, but I do want my body to be on the side. So what I showed you before was I would backslash it, the section that I want to edit, and then I'm going to basically move me to the side. So as you can see, now that video was added and I was able to shift my body to the side. The same thing applies to how I made this edit right here.
And look at what topics they'd be doing. And then I would filter it by how many views they got on their topics. And then I would pretty much do the exact same thing. This works.
So this video right here is basically just a screen recording that I did. And then I just added it as a layer. So again, as a reminder, I basically did add layer and then I added the exact screen recording that I wanted to put, or I just dragged the clip directly into the timeline from my computer.
I forgot to mention that when you do add a layer and you add files and you add like a photo, let's say a screenshot, you still have to drag it into the timeline like this in order for it to show up.
But it really... Now for this specific video, I actually forgot to mention a lot of the tips that was in my original script. So as I was editing, I actually filmed extra clips to put into the video. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
People to click. And so I asked myself how I can apply the same title structure to my videos as well.
Or even a better example in this video is about how to start running and actually enjoy it from someone who used to hate running. And you can tell that this video is popping off for this creator because it's got 415,000 views. So if you are someone who is like me and you forgot to say something and you have to film an extra clip to put it in, it's really simple to do. All you have to do is again, go to the part in the transcript that you want to add that clip, hit the enter button, and then you can easily add an extra file. So just for the sake of this example, let's say this is the clip that I want. I then click this, and then it's going to analyze my file and embed it into the script and also transcribe it. Now, as you can see, Descript has also transcribed that extra clip that I added, and all I have to do is edit it the same way as I've been doing for the rest of this video. So now when I hit play, it's going to show that clip.
Videos as well. And the reason why this is important because it's true, the first 15 to 30 seconds are important, especially if someone's never been to your channel before.
Now, the next thing that I want to show you is how to make screen recordings within Descript. Yes, you heard that right. Descript can literally do anything and everything. Okay, so in this video, I actually did a screen recording of how to use the YouTube inspiration tab to get content ideas, and it kind of looked like this. Well, I actually filmed this within Descript as I was editing my video, so let me show you what that looks like. Now, the first step is to pick the section where you want to do your screen recording. Now, I've picked this section. I'm going to hit the enter button on my keyboard to create some space and also be able to get these options. Then I'm going to click on record. Once I click that button, I'm able to select which camera I want to use, which microphone I want to use, and also what screen I want to share. In this case, I'll just do my Canva screen for now. And then you're going to want to click on record into script. This is going to make sure that whatever screen recording you do, Descript will transcribe it and you're going to be able to edit it, very similar to how we've been editing this video so far. So I select that. And then I'm going to hit record. It's going to count us down. And now it's going to be recording on that actual screen. Now in this case, it's recording my Canva tab. So I'm going to go on my Canva tab and then I'm going to start saying whatever I need. These are all the different options for my thumbnail, as you can see, and then also a few that I haven't done yet. And by the way, the next video of this YouTube series is about thumbnails, so make sure you turn on your notification bell and subscribe if you haven't already. But anyways, what we're gonna do is once we're done recording, I'm going to stop the recording. And then Descript is going to process the recording. So we're just gonna wait a few minutes. Now, as you can see, Descript has transcribed this entire recording for me. And also my camera is on the bottom left-hand side. But the cool thing about Descript though is if I actually click on this, I'm able to change the size of the camera. I'm also able to change the shape. So in my case, I'm gonna turn it into a circle. And I'm also able to realign it so that I am more centered. So you can see that I am actually in this bottom left-hand side, and I also can change where I am in the recording as well. And since I have the transcript, all I have to do is edit it the same way that we've been doing throughout this entire tutorial. And I can also select what I don't want and delete that as well. Now, just so you can see what it looks like, let me hit play for my thumbnail, as you can see, and then also a few that I haven't done yet. And by the way, the next video of this YouTube series is about thumbnails, so make sure you turn on your notification bell and subscribe if you haven't already. So as you can see, the recording turned out really good. And another thing I also really like, I can also do color adjustments on this video as well. So all I have to do is click on effects, and then I click the plus button, color adjustments, and I will just increase the saturation and it'll make the video a lot more colorful. Now, once you're happy with all the edits that you've made, the next step is to actually export your video. And it's really simple. You just click the publish button up top, hit export, and then you're gonna be able to choose the resolution. In my case, because I pay for Descript, I believe I'm on the creator plan, I'm able to export in 4K. And so I'm gonna click on 4K, I'm gonna make sure my quality is really high, and then I'm going to click export. It's going to ask me which folder I want to export in and also double check the title. In my case, I always put the title of my YouTube video, and then I hit save. Now, all you have to do is just wait for Descript to export your video, and then from there, you're going to be able to upload the file to YouTube. Now, the next thing that I want to show you how to do is how to turn your long form videos into short form clips like this. You can also do this in Descript. So let me show you an example that's a little bit more obvious. So this is a 2-hour podcast interview that I did with the girls over at Spiraling Higher. And so what I did, because the video was so long, I watched it in 2x speed. And as I was watching the video, I started highlighting the parts where I felt had potential to be repurposed into a short form clip. And so how you highlight something is you can just highlight and then click on this button right here. You can also change the color if you would like. This is a really great way to keep track of the things that you might want to repurpose from your long form content. Now, after I finished watching this 2-hour podcast episode, what I did was I looked back on all the things that I had highlighted. I highlighted again, and then what I do here is I click on this button. Now I'm able to create a new composition. And as you can see, I actually did this many times and I got many clips from this long form video. But when you click new composition, it's going to isolate it and create its own file. So let me click on that composition. This is the exact section that I highlighted. Then what you're going to do is you're going to want to click on this button right here and click on portrait. After that, you're going to be able to stretch out your clip so that it fits the portrait mode. And then very similar to all the little tricks that I showed you before, you can edit this clip however you'd like. Now, for the sake of showing you an example, I'm just gonna make this clip a lot shorter. And then I'm going to add captions. So I'm gonna highlight this whole thing, click on Underlord, and then type captions and click on this button. Now it's going to automatically add captions to this video.
So I had just quit my job in like 2018. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I ended up being a coffee barista while doing it. So there was a lot of hustle behind doing the YouTube channel. There's a lot of sacrifices that were made.
Now, as you can see, there's still a lot of filler words. So I'm just going to select all and then remove filler words and then have Descript remove all of that to clean it up and make it more concise for short form content.
I had just quit my job in like 2018. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I ended up being a coffee barista while doing it. So there was a lot of hustle behind doing the YouTube channel. There's a lot of sacrifices that were made.
And then what I also am going to do is I'm going to change this text here. So and so now it's going to look like this.
I had just quit my job in like 2018. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I ended up being a coffee barista while doing it. So there was a lot of hustle behind doing the YouTube channel.
And again, if I wanted to make the text even bigger, then I can just do that as well. And then I can move it wherever I want on the screen. Now, obviously, this isn't the actual design that I would use for my short form clips, but I hope this gives you an idea of what Descript can do when it comes to repurposing your content. Now, one thing I want to clarify is you don't need to highlight in order for you to repurpose content. I just do this if I'm keeping track of something. For example, that podcast interview I did was 2 hours long and I wanted to just kind of get through it and highlight things and then repurpose later. But most times when I'm editing, I will already be doing this. So I will highlight what I want and then I'll click this button, add to new composition, click on this button right here, scroll down, and then it's going to show that exact clip that I did. And then I will make it portrait mode. I will expand it. I will edit it however I'd like. And then I will select all of the text, go to Underlord, add caption, and it'll automatically add it here. Now, the best part about Descript is that it will remember the design that you used in the past. And so the one that we designed together, it already automatically put it in this clip, even though it was from a different project. Now, obviously, if I don't like this design, I can always change it. So let's change it back to how I normally would have it.
Completely exhausted because all you're trying to do is get more customers, get new viewers, get new subscribers, and that's what puts you on this perpetual hamster wheel.
And then what I also like to do is I like to name the short form clip. So I could say YouTube hamster wheel. Okay. And then now when I click here, I've got my main long form video. And then as I go down, you can see all of the different short form clips that I've done and that I've named. And the one that we just named is right here called YouTube hamster wheel. And so what I love about this is Descript makes it really tidy. So when you have a long form video, you can easily see all the different clips that you've extracted from that one video. That way, when you are on your main project homepage on Descript, you're not going to have thousands of clips. And instead, you're only going to see your long form videos. Another way that you can tell that I've done a lot of short form repurposing is you can see over here with that podcast interview, the plus 38 that you see means that I've gotten 38 short form clips from that 2-hour interview. Or even in this video, I have plus 11, which means that I've clipped at least 11 short form clips as well. The next cool thing that you can also do is you can create GIFs for your YouTube channel. So for me, when I'm promoting my YouTube videos over on the community tab, you'll see a bunch of GIFs that I've done to show people kind of like a preview of what my video is about. And I actually make those on Descript too. So let's say this is a section that I want to turn into a GIF. I'm going to highlight it and then I'm going to do the same thing and create a new composition. Then I'm going to scroll down to the latest composition that I've created, which is this one. I'm going to name this GIF 10 Secrets to Content Creation. And then I'm going to turn this into a square. I'm going to then add captions. So I select all, go to Underlord, select captions, and now I want to talk about some of the things that I wish I had known sooner. That personally for me, for my GIFs, I want the text to be a bit smaller. And then maybe I might want to make it 2 lines. I want to talk about some of the things that I wish I had known sooner that would have prevented me from burning down my 7-figure. Maybe let's say I want to remove this.
Wish I had known sooner that would have prevented me from burning down my 7-figure creator business.
So let's say that's the GIF that I want. Then I'm going to hit publish, export, and then I'm going to hit GIF right up top. Now, what I've noticed on the YouTube community tab is that it does have a file size limit. And so what I typically do is I do 25% of composition, I make the quality medium, and then I hit export. Now, over on my actual computer, I do have folders of all the YouTube videos that I've ever exported since using Descript. And so I'll click on the video that I want to put the GIF in, and then I will hit save. Now, just to show you the final result of what I actually ended up making for this specific video when it comes to the community tab promotion is this GIF right here. And as you can see, I've been using GIFs for a long time and Descript makes it really easy. The only qualm that I have is I do wish that YouTube would increase the file size limit so that the GIFs could be higher quality, but it still works. And I also find that it looks pretty good on mobile too. All right, so never did I ever expect that I would upload a video about video editing, considering how much I don't really like editing and I don't personally think I'm good at it. And so I'm really grateful that I found Descript because ever since finding this tool, I have empowered myself to edit some of my own videos. Now, I will put a disclaimer that this video that you're watching right now is edited by someone else because what I have found is editing a video about editing videos, which is really meta by the way, is actually above my skill set. And I wanted you guys to have the best learning experience. So I did outsource the editing for this specific video. Now, if you want to learn more about how I work with video editors, then make sure you comment below and I might make a video about that in the future if there is interest. That being said though, the next video of this YouTube series is going to be all about thumbnails, including how I make them myself and also what it looks like when I outsource thumbnail creation. If that video is ready, you're going to be able to watch it by clicking right here. And if you don't see it, that just means I haven't posted it yet. So make sure you hit the notification and the subscribe button to not miss out. That being said, guys, I really appreciate you guys and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys and take care.